I am currently standing on what could possibly be Universal Orlando Resort's Epic Universe's 4th theme park. Hello everybody, welcome. There is so much speculation and misinformation about all the amazing expansion plans for Epic Universe Beyond. Today we are going to talk a little bit about those. We're going to clear up some of the air and we're going to go around, we're going to do a site construction visit. This is going to be an awesome video if you are an Epic Universe fan, because you are not only going to see all the progress that's being made on Epic, but we're also going to show you all the things that are coming after. In some of our recent videos, we've been talking about all the Epic Universe Beyond plans, all the expansions, all the things that they're already working on, new areas that they're already planning for. We talked about the increase in acreage. Now, again, I want to be clear on the increase in acreage. Those things Universal has already owned. These areas, like the one right behind me, they've already owned these areas, but what they're doing now is they're actually starting to file plans for some of these areas so they can begin developing on them. And not all of that new space are they actually starting or planning development on, but they are starting to increase that space that they have near Epic Universe. This is one of the areas that they also own that at some point in the future, they could very well easily start to develop new theme parks, new water parks on. Now let's talk a little bit about what this space is. This space is the large space on the map that I provided that shows in the upper right-hand corner there along Sand Lake and John Young Parkway is actually this huge area that Universal Studios, Universal Orlando Resort actually owns. And in my last video, I talked about how big this was. This is much larger than Magic Kingdom. You could literally fit an entire Epic Universe plus a lot more just in this space right behind me. It is an enormous space. But one of the pieces of misinformation that keeps flowing around out there is that people keep saying this particular area and a lot of the areas that they own is actually marsh and wetland that they can't really develop on, or it would be extraordinarily cost prohibitive to actually develop on. I'm going to show you why that's actually not the case. This area right here actually runs right along the Shingle Creek Regional Trail. And you can see I'm walking right along the property line here. You can see the ground is extremely dry. And it's just recently downpoured earlier today. It's been pouring down rain. And right across from me, you can actually see a water retention area that's actually collecting water. But over on this side here, which is Universal's property, and you know that Universal owns this property because there are all sorts of signs right along this property line that basically show you that UCDP owns this land. So there's no trespassing. I can't go really further into the actual woodlands here, but UCDP is basically Universal Cities Development Partners. So they are the ones that basically manage all the development and all the different spaces and areas. And so this is a huge area. And again, it's very dry. There's plenty of space. It's all woodland. You can see there's lots of like leaves on the ground. It's actually a very flat wooded area. Now there are some retention water spaces throughout there, but overall it is absolutely a developable land. In fact, right along the other side of this trail here is actually a lot of businesses, a lot of large buildings and structures that also had built on this area at one point just on this side of this trail. So if you take a look at the actual trail here, you can see that sort of water retention area there. You can see this large concrete path, and this is going to be important because we're going to talk about this a little bit later. There's this large concrete path that goes from here all the way for several miles in this direction, and Universal owns the property along this entire trail and including portions of this trail. So I will show you how that all connects as we go further and we actually go to the other side. And that's going to be important because it actually shows you how this all connects together. All this sort of land that goes all the way along the right side of Epic Universe, it's going to actually show you how all that land connects. Now it's also important to know that a lot of the land that the current Epic Universe is built on, a lot of that land was exactly like this land right behind me. It was really no different. Lots of wooded areas, some grassy plains areas, but a lot of wooded areas with some water recess areas. And Universal actually used a lot of land movers. Is that what those things are called? Those giant construction vehicles? I don't know what they're called. But they actually moved a lot of land, actually shifted and moved where some of the water retention ponds are. So they could easily do that here as well. And again, this area is just massive. I mean, it's huge. I can't wait to see what they could do with it. Like I said, they could add multiple theme parks in this one particular location. So let's keep on moving. We're gonna head over to some of the other areas that they've actually expanded into. Well, like I said, they've owned it, and they could potentially expand into it. And some of the areas which we'll show are areas that they've actually filed new plans for. This is exciting to me. Like, I cannot be more pumped for this. I'm excited for Epic Universe, but Epic Universe Beyond, it just brings it to a whole nother level. All right, we've now moved over on the other side of Sand Lake. We're actually in the Universal Epic Universe space now. We're in the property lines area where the Shingle Tree Trail continues in to Universal's area. And so this particular location is easily transformable. So right ahead of me is the Shingle Creek Trail. You can see on the right over here, there's Epic. You see a little sort of water channel right here to collect water. Right on the other side of that is Epic Universe, is actually right over here. There's a water treatment plant here, but a little bit further down, that's where Epic Universe is. On the left over here is developable space. You can see the ground is, there's no standing water anywhere. It's a very developable area. Obviously, if this was all standing water up here, this trail right here would flood. So what's really interesting to me is that if you follow this trail all the way down this trail, all the way to Destination Parkway, and actually beyond Destination Parkway, you can see it on the map there, as it continues to flow, this is all a flat area of ground where there's clearly a paved road already. It's a trail, but it's a paved road. So you can easily see how they could actually transform this place and use this area for buses or transportation between getting from this area of the park over across Sand Lake. So build like a little bridge area right over there, and you're straight over into that property we were just at. Very easily you can see it so the transportation actually area is already right here, or they could use this area for service roads in the back, more back at the house operations, but moving things behind the scenes. Again, the more behind the scenes areas that there are, the more they can actually do with the space right on top of Epic Universe and the properties there. So again, lots of usage here for this space, to be able to build a road that goes straight through here, or actually build hotels and things right alongside it, and then you kind of just take, some sort of roadway that maybe gets built here or gets built parallel to this in some way, take that right into Epic Universe without actually having to leave the miniature Epic Universe bubble, the Universal bubble. And so I just feel like that's super exciting to me. Again, we keep hearing this is all wetlands area. No, it's way too costly to develop. They're saving that space for water runoff. No, they're not. They have water runoff areas right here. There's a little river that goes right through there. There's other water recesses that they've actually built for Epic Universe. Again, that large lake, let me sort of show you right there. I'll zoom in on it a little bit. There's a large lake area where Epic Universe is right now. That wasn't even there before. That was specifically created. They moved all of the water into that space to actually make room for Epic Universe. So they've done it before. They can definitely do it again. All right, now I want to pivot and I want to head over to Epic Universe and see some of the site progress, some of the construction updates. We're going to do that, and then we're going to head back over and check out some of the new expansion areas as well. So stay tuned for that. But let's get a quick glimpse of where we're at on Epic Universe. And man, is it hot. Woo! It is hot in Florida right now, I gotta tell you. And like I said, it just downpoured earlier today. You wouldn't know though, because the ground is completely dry. All the roadways, all the concrete, completely dry. But man, it is hot. Well, we've made our way over here to what is going to be one of the main entrances, if not the main entrance to Epic Universe. Right over here on Universal Boulevard. You can kind of see the main entrance there behind me. It's got the two hotels, Stella Nova and Terra Luna hotels, on each side of that main sort of entryway there. Now on these side of the hotels, actually facing Universal Boulevard, is actually where the pool areas and cabanas and things are going to be. You can actually see them building those. There's going to be the pool right here. You'll also see like restrooms, maybe a little bar and grill that's going to be right outside of that. And you can see these hotels are really almost complete. They're going to be done very soon. Again, they're going to be they've already got reservations open for it. You can definitely book those. I encourage you to do so. But both the hotels are looking like they're almost finished. You can see the entry, sort of the pool area there in front of this side as well. Right over here, all the way right there in front of the Helios Grand to the left, you can see that's the Kirkman Road extension. Man, they've built so much just since the last time we were here about a month or two ago. They've almost got the entire bridge now built. And then that circular area that's gonna bring you right into Epic Universe. Man, that's crazy how much they've built. And this is just getting me so excited. I wanna get a better view of the actual hotels though, so we're gonna get a little bit closer. Let's swing over to the other side there, take a look at the hotel up close and personal. But man, I am so excited for this. All right, I am standing right outside of the Stella Nova Hotel, which actually is going to be opening first. January 21st is when Stella Nova opens. Its sister hotel there, Terra Luna, actually opens about a month later. And so the Stella Nova Hotel looks, I mean, it's basically completely finished. It looks amazing. Looks like they still need to do a little bit of landscaping right out front of Stella Nova Hotel. All the concrete work looks like it's done. It's all paved. The sort of where the drop-off area is going to be, the parking lot looks like it's finished. What's great though is I love seeing the pathway. There's a little walking path. You can kind of see it right along the right side of the Stella Nova. That's actually going to allow you to walk all the way into Epic Universe or between different hotels. So you can kind of see that walking path. There's also planned to be another hotel right to the right side of Stella Nova, potentially. There's another hotel space right over there, so you could potentially walk to that as well. I'm assuming that you will have privileges at the Terra Luna Hotel right next door, and perhaps even whatever that third hotel is that they're going to be building. They're actually removing a lot of the tape that has been up as they've been sort of painting and fixing and doing some of the caulk work and stuff. So they're actually starting to strip off some of the tape. They actually have recently repainted this sort of bottom part. In fact, you can see some of the scaffolding still sitting right here, but you can even see some of the lines. You can also see some of the paint tape right there. Like I said, you can see some of the tape is being removed. It's sort of been shredded by the wind a little bit there, but you can kind of see they've just done some fresh painting right there. They probably got another coat or two. They'll probably keep updating it in preparation for the opening. But wow, I mean, this just looks spectacular. Look at those tiles. That tile work is phenomenal. It's so pretty. I wanted to make a quick stop right here over on Universal Boulevard. I don't usually stop and take a look here, but I've actually noticed some really cool, interesting things that have changed lately. So this entire stretch of land right over there on the other side of that road, all of that land for as far as you can see, all the way down there, all the way this way, over where that construction vehicle is, that bulldozer, all of this land along Universal Boulevard is owned by Universal Studios, Universal Orlando Resort. And I have to tell you, I'm seeing all this is now, I mean, you can see it's just beautiful, flat, grassy space there. And there's a lot of these little poles and flags and stuff up, plus some construction vehicles that I'm seeing, which may actually indicate that they're actually getting ready to start building another hotel right here. This is definitely hotel space. That's what we've been earmarking this for a while now. I'll kind of show it to you. But this is exciting because I'm actually seeing some things happening here that I haven't seen before. It looks like they're marking some things off. And we do know that Universal's hotel space has been one of the biggest concerns for Epic Universe. The demand just keeps going up and up and up. And their belief is it's going to be bigger and bigger and bigger. And only adding 3 additional hotels and parking, I think, is going to be a little tough for them because they already have 8 hotels now. And you think about a completely new park opening, only adding 3 hotels, one of which is probably going to be really expensive. They need to start adding more hotels ASAP. And so it looks like this particular space right here, we might actually be getting some hotels, but I have to say this space right here is huge. I mean, this is I mean, you could put 4, I'd say like 4 hotels right here, really, or one massive sprawling hotel like a Port Orleans Riverside type hotel. So that's exciting. We've now moved a little bit further over along Universal Boulevard, right next to the Andretti Racing and the Topgolf location. And right here to my left is actually other hotel space that they're reserving. And you can kind of see right up there, it's a lot of just sort of like bushes and trees that actually just need to be knocked down. But that sort of is all this space, all the way over, all the way to the space that I was just showing. That whole entire section there, more space for hotels. And again, this is right next to Andretti Racing, Topgolf. So again, if there's a hotel planted right here, very easy access into Andretti, Topgolf, go across the street over there to International Drive. So it's a great location. And then right over there on the other side of Topgolf is Epic Universe. So they should be able to get in some way over to Epic Universe from this hotel as well. I'm not seeing any construction right here yet, but I'm expecting that to be coming pretty soon. Now, right here, we're actually standing directly behind Frankenstein's manor, literally directly behind Frankenstein's manor. So you can actually see the mansion right there in the background. And then on the other, so you can see some of the facade sort of peeking through the front of it there. And then right to the right of it, you can actually see more of the Dark Universe land. You can see the sort of spire there, which is the windmill. I can actually see the windmill very clearly right now. It's not burning, there's no flames on it, it's not spinning right now, but you can see the windmill. Directly behind it, you can see the Helios Grand Hotel, just a different angle of it. And then opposite of Helios Grand is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic, which you can't really see that well, but you can actually see scaffolding on the front there of Frankenstein's mansion there. Straight through there behind, you can actually see portions of Stardust Racers peeking through. And then a little bit to the right, you can actually see the Mead Hall. So the How to Train Your Dragon Mead Hall, you can see that it's poking through there, so you can already get a glimpse, and that's on the complete other end of the park. And then right up close and personal, kind of to the right there, is sort of the back of Super Nintendo World. You can see the Donkey Kong barrel. It's sort of right behind those power lines. But one of the most exciting things that I see right now is that they're actually testing the Curse of the Werewolf. So we're actually getting to see ride testing going on there. So I just heard an announcement come over the loudspeaker that said they are going to be moving the ride immediately, so to clear the track. And you can see it moving right now. They're actually running it. And that is our first glimpse of Curse of the Werewolf. And it looks really interesting because the car looks like it's actually going forwards, and it's going slowly, and then it's going backwards, and then it's going forward again, and then continuing momentum. So it almost looks like it's kind of like a Hagrid's ride where it goes forward, but then it stops and it goes backwards as well. So again, that makes total sense with those ride vehicles being forward facing and backwards facing. Looks like it's kind of going at a slower pace, more of a kid-friendly ride, but then it sort of picks up after it goes forward again. So I don't know if it has a launch of some kind in there. I can't really see it from here. But really interesting, because I wasn't really thinking I didn't really know for sure if it was actually going to move forward and move backwards, or if it was just kind of going to go slow and spin, but it looks like it's going to do both. At least from what I'm seeing on the ride testing. Maybe it's because they're doing ride testing and it's going really slow and they're just it's like wobbling back because it's not at full speed. I'm not sure, but it looks exciting. I'm like pumped that I actually get to see the ride testing happening right now. I mean, that's really exciting to me. That means Curse of the Werewolf is almost done. So we know Starfall Racers, they've been testing that. That's pretty much probably already done. Curse of the Werewolf is probably almost done. So there's some of those are the outdoor roller coasters, and this is really coming along. And I'm excited. I can literally see the Burning Blade Tavern windmill. I mean, it's not lit afire right now, but I can see it. So I mean, they're coming along. I mean, folks, I'm telling you, early opening, we're getting it. Okay, we've moved over here now to the other side of Super Nintendo World. You can see Super Nintendo World right over here on the left. You can get a decent view of the back side of Super Nintendo World. Not really, it's really kind of hard to get a good view of the front of Super Nintendo World. But you're also getting a better view of Starfall Racers right there. And you can see the Mead Hall. See that spire poking up right there on the right. Trying to see... I do see a windmill spinning right there. So there's a windmill for How to Train Your Dragon Land. It's actually spinning right now. I don't see any testing going on with Starfall Racers, but we know that actual roller coaster is testing. We also know that How to Train Your Dragon, Dragons Racers Rally, that's also been testing with actual riders. So, man, it's really coming along. So I wanted to come over here and get a glimpse of what very well could actually end up being the main entrance to the Helios Grand Hotel. We don't have confirmation on that yet. This could just be only a back of the house operations entrance. But they are doing a lot of work in making it look very beautiful and very pretty at this entrance. And so I keep wondering if this is going to end up being a main entrance to Helios Grand. I still think you'll be able to get to Helios Grand from the Kirkman Road extension as well. But it's looking more and more like this could also be a potential entrance for Helios Grand. And this hotel is just coming along so fast. I mean, it looks spectacular. Obviously, this is sort of the back side of it or the front side of it, depending on how you look at it. It's basically the side that's facing away from Epic Universe. So I guess technically it will be the front because that's where the parking lot will be. But basically the front side and then the other. So what you're seeing there is the side that's facing the parking lot, the side on the other side, that's where it faces into Epic Universe. I feel like that entrance is looking better and better. I mean, it's already got trees, bushes, flowers, everything planted. They've got the parking lot finished completely right out front of it. So I'm telling you, man, it's going to be opening soon. I can't believe we're only about 6 months away from Stella Nova and the Terra Luna hotels opening, which we're staying at day one. But I feel like we're going to be hearing an announcement on Helios Grand any day now, really. I feel like it's going to be opening up very soon because it looks like it is. I mean, it looks like they're putting the finishing touches on it at this point. It looks awesome. All right, we have now moved to the area right behind me here, which is the back of the house area right off of Sand Lake. And this particular area is the least interesting, but also most impactful area of Epic Universe that they're actually building. And we've mentioned that on other videos, but that's primarily because it's actually, by building such a huge back of the house area over here, it's actually going to allow for Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure to continue to expand without having to demolish other attractions and other buildings. They'll be able to just keep growing and growing as they can remove some of the back of the house operations over in that limited space. Right across the street there, I can definitely see the Helios Grand Hotel right there. We'll get a better view of it. We'll actually get much more up close and personal, but that's a pretty good shot of it. Over there to the left, again, down Sand Lake there, just right down there, kind of in that space, is where we just were. And actually developing some of that space is going to make it really nice to just be able to go straight across the road over to that new area where I think they're going to build their new theme park. Right over there we can see Stardust Racers, newly named Stardust Racers. We'll get a better view of that as well, but not too bad of a view from here. It's coming right along. They've definitely got all the roadways, all the construction pretty much done there. And from my understanding, those back of the house buildings are actually pretty much completely done. And they're also already operating out of some of these buildings already. So let's head down a little bit further now, because I actually want to take a look at Kirkman Road, the Kirkman Road extension. It's going to make it really easy to get in and out between Universal Studios and the new Epic Universe. All right, we've actually transitioned now over to the Kirkman Road extension, but I did want to cover this really quickly because there's been a lot of progress on the actual road extension. You can see cars are already driving down there. That actually goes under and back up around the bridge, but they've actually added some of the bridges and stuff. So a lot of the bridges and things that have been built are already almost done. I feel like it's not going to be maybe a couple more months and it should be ready and open for business. And I said this in the last video, straight down this road, right down there on the left, is actually Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure, only about maybe half a mile to a mile down that road. So you're just going to come straight up this road, a quick jaunt right up here, right past those buildings right there that you see. As soon as you get past those buildings, that's Epic Universe, and then sort of over to the left there. So it is not far at all. Man, it's a couple of minutes trip to get from Universal to Islands of Adventure. So again, talking about going from small Universal Studios Islands of Adventure City Walk bubble over to Epic Universe bubble, super quick, super easy, and then once you're in the bubble, you're good to go. Everything's walkable. So man, this road extension, I mean, it's a road. It's not that interesting to look at. I get that. But it is super important it's going to be super important to the success of Epic Universe. So I cannot wait till this road is done. It's a big deal. Along with the Brightline station that's going at the Convention Center, which Convention Center is right down this way. They're putting in a Brightline station, which will allow you to literally go across the street from the Convention Center into Epic Universe. So Universal's just doing everything right, transportation-wise, making it easier to get between the parks. So it's just a road, but it's a big piece. Okay, so I wanted to come over here quickly to Destination Parkway because I want to talk a little bit more about the expansion plans and some of the additional space that they have to work with for Epic Universe. All of this land right here along Destination Parkway, so sort of starting from over here, all the way in, if you go on Constellation Way that actually leads in here, all this space right here, all those trees right there, everything behind it, all of that land right there currently not being used. You can see they're using it right now for a staging area for Epic Universe. All of that land all the way down right there, all owned by Universal Studios. And you can just see it is a ton of space. I mean, there is so much space happening right there. There's sort of construction vehicles sitting there. There's a large hill over there that you can actually see to the right, because that's actually where they sort of dug out a recess pond, is on the other side of that hill right there. But all of this space right here is owned by Universal, and they're not doing anything. And this is easily developable land. I mean, this is not a bunch of water. This is not a bunch of wetlands. It's definitely easy space that they could expand into. This is actually some of the space that they've most recently marked for potential development here. So they've actually added this. This is the space. Some of this space right here is what they actually added to their plans that have been updated recently. So there's a lot of space right here. But now I want to kind of head down a little bit further down there, and I want to show you all the space on the other side of this golf course down here and all the space over here that they also own that they can expand into. Okay, so we're back over here along the Shingle Creek Trail, which actually runs all the way down this way. So we were way down there, a couple of miles down that way when we were over at Sand Lake, and that entire stretch all along this waterway. So there's sort of this like river that runs through here, which is kind of like the end. That the river is basically at the sort of end of the property line, if you will, for Universal, the areas, the Epic Universe areas that they own. So right on the other side of this sort of like river is all this land that just stretches for a mile down the road that way, and then an entire mile or two down that way. That's all owned by Epic Universe. So the Shingle Creek Trail continues here. You can kind of see it down there. That's sort of the continuation of the trail because it basically comes over here onto the other side. It goes across this bridge and comes over here. So, but all that space over there, right on the other side of that tree line, that's all space for development, or for, if they want to use it for water recess, they can, or they can do it for back of the house ops, or you put hotels in this space. Lots of room there. And as I said, all the way down that stretch, following the river all the way down that way, all that space is owned. And eventually, if you continue going down that direction, is where you'll run into the space that I was walking just a little bit earlier on the other side of that tree line to the left. And then across, when you hit Sand Lake, you go across there, and that's where that giant space of land is that we started the video with. So tons of space here that they can do stuff with. Actually, right over kind of further in that direction, there's the Rosen Hotel. There's an actual Rosen resort over there, which is part of that golf course there. I'm actually wondering if that Rosen Hotel will actually become a Good Neighbor Hotel, similar to how Disney has Good Neighbor hotels right along their sort of main strip there, heading into Disney Springs, which could be a great option for expanding the capacity for hotels and things like that really quickly for Epic Universe without having to build more hotels. So just by partnering with existing hotels around here, there's hotels over by the convention center, there's the Rosen Hotel right here with the golf course, easily just doing a partnership with them, maybe running some free transportation between the parks, maybe giving you a little bit of perks to stay there. That could easily increase the capacity of people that can stay here at Epic Universe. So I'm wondering if we're going to actually start hearing news about that. But again, just tons of space to work with. Some of this space, I will say right here, some of this space does have some water in it, and it is a little bit of wetland stuff. So it would take a little bit of work to actually get that into a condition where you can actually build stuff on it. But overall, I mean, it's developable for sure. So again, as I mentioned, there's a giant lake that was right on the other side of that hill that I just showed. That basically was a huge retention pond for water that they created for Epic Universe. That did not exist there before. There were smaller little inlet bodies in a couple of different places, and they basically sort of pushed all that land around and created that one specific spot to catch all that water. All right, so that's going to do it for our Epic Universe site update, progress, construction visit, and all the cool expansion stuff. By the way, there's a few other areas of expansion that I haven't even showed yet. I'll do that in a future video because there's some cool spots over there actually along the main highway there, the main toll highway. There's some spaces there that they own that kind of hooks around this direction. So there's other land that they own as well, which connects to this land. So we'll show that in a future video. But are you excited for Epic Universe? Are you ready for it to get going? Are you excited for Beyond Epic Universe? I'm just going to start coining it that. That's the name for it, Beyond Epic Universe. That's the next park. That's the next area that they're going to be developing. So I'm excited. I'm pumped. Let me know what you're thinking. Epic Universe is going to be opening so soon. I mean, we're less than a year out. I think we're around 6 months from the hotel's opening, probably 10 to 11 months out from Epic Universe opening. They're already doing so much ride testing. Ride testing for the Donkey Kong minecart, ride testing for Curse of the Werewolf, ride testing for Dragons, Racers, Rallies, ride testing for Stardust Racers. I mean, all of the rides are in test mode already. From everything that I could see, Ministry of Magic with the Wizarding World of Harry Potter looks to be the area that seems the furthest away from being complete, but it still also has a ton of progress. I'll throw up a couple of views of some of the overhead maps that, courtesy of our friends Bio Reconstruct. They do great aerial photography using drones and stuff, so I'm going to throw up a few maps of those so you can kind of see a little bit more detailed progress of each of the lands. But The Ministry of Magic still looks like it's got a lot of progress, but still feels to me like it's the furthest away. Also hasn't been formally announced yet. That's going to be the next one. I can't wait for that. Probably get that in a few weeks. So yeah, all the ride testing, everything's pointing to this place opening sooner rather than later. Let me know if you think I'm off on any of this stuff, or there's other things that you've heard or that you've seen that you think I should know about, that I should check out. I'd love to see it. Hit us down in the comments below. Be sure to like, subscribe, share. Until I see you next time, the noble way is the easy way. Bye-bye, everybody.